You know challenges like the Bean Boozled or the internet challenges like PetiteTube, right? Well, there is a site like PetiteTube called Fred Films. Fred Films was a website that started in 2001 and, like some illegal website, putting films and TV shows without credit. It was forbidden since 2019. The creator, Fred Alec, was arrested for pirating and putting the movies and shows to download there. But there are plenty of people who have been to the site since. One user wasn't able to find his movie, which was Lady and the Tramp. He went to search for a website that featured the movie, which was Fred Films. No running time was labeled, however, and when he clicked on it, it didn't play Lady and the Tramp. Played an animation that I'd say looked like from a film I'd say around the 70s or the 80s. It was black and white and showed a cartoon boy staring at the camera until he got malnourished and cut to a cartoon grave. Then an image flashed to a location. This location was actually a man who was responsible for killing his wife. What was odd is the fact that this was near his friend's house, but he thinks it was a coincidence, but still makes him very uncomfortable. Another user who was going to go to the site to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit with his son when he clicked. What was playing was another cartoon. It was about some rabbit going outside and sees a giant bear literally eating him off screen. You could see his shadows while he was getting mauled by the bear. No, this was in 2008. The film wasn't found anywhere or something. People believe this was an episode of Happy Tree Friends, a show definitely not for kids. The user said this wasn't Happy Tree Friends. The other said it was Watership Down, another film not for kids as well. The user said this wasn't Watership Down. However, there was one person who was lucky. During the time he was going to watch an episode of Family Guy, and he actually got the real episode. Another user went to watch A Christmas Story and got the real movie. The website felt like the internet version of the Bean Boozled challenge. Anyway, when one user went to the site, he found an episode of Red vs. Blue, had Noob in charge. He clicked on the episode, but instead was playing of a 40-second clip of someone literally putting whipping cream on a roadkill skunk and shaving it, which is really disgusting. What's worse is the person who did this ate it on camera. And then he clicked off the Red vs. Blue episode and clicked on Forrest Gump. He got the real movie. Odd, huh? Another user has his experience on the site. Back in 2007, he was a fan of blood and gore in the media. He clicked on a Happy Tree Friends episode. When it played, it then randomly had an ad popped up in the 1 minute and 2 second mark of the video, literally showing a real video of a beheading in a bathroom. Happy Tree Friends is a fictional show, but a real video of a beheading made him sick. He said his friends went to the website before and they watched South Park. They would actually get the actual episodes. Another user had strangely gotten ads like this on YouTube. He was watching a Mr. Beast video until he had some ad of some dude literally eating potato chips while he was in the shower. Another user who went to the site who was going to watch movies like The Godfather, Jurassic Park, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and Home Alone. Those 4 movies worked until he watched Toy Story 2. What he got was an animation of Woody literally getting burned to death and fades to a picture of a moving faceless rat. He begins to throw up. You can also expect to find a ton of shows and movies: Simpsons, Sesame Street, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Robin Hood, The Dark Knight, Nightmare on Elm Street, Lord of the Rings, Impractical Jokers, Animaniacs, Cinderella, and many, many more. Just be fortunate to watch the real episode. Then we had this user, he was going to watch Spider-Man 2, but instead what he got was a clip of a Serbian film and cuts to footage of a fetus found in the bed. What the fuck? He said he watched the first Spider-Man and it was fine. But he got this. He also said that when he clicked on the movie because of Winn-Dixie, which had played him the movie. Another user shared his thoughts when he began clicking on Winn-Dixie. He got an animation of an actual human puppet, and no, this wasn't a setup, nor it was dead. It was still alive, and no, she was being controlled. It was a little girl, and the short was about 4 minutes. She was blinking, and her brother came to the room screaming. The puppet would then fall into pieces. He said this. He went watching the show store towards Texas, and he would watch an episode, but he would say he would get another episode, watch another episode, he would get the same animation. And that was most of the users who went to the website and experiences with the show and movies. Most people who were newbies had no idea on what they were onto. The site was taken down in 2019 for piracy. The fact that people back there had no idea this was a disturbing challenge, that doesn't really surprise me. Well, here for another update today. I went back to the post for Fred Films, and I've seen some more experiences on this website, since there are plenty of people who went there. This was pretty much something very memorable, but messed up. I've heard people also said that pirated video games were up there, and even pirated YouTube videos. Let's get more through the story. Our first user said he went to the website with his little brother back in 2019. He was going to watch The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. He went to the site and began watching the movie. During one scene, it was interrupted with a short animation of a boy in his pajamas ready to go to bed. However, he was sleeping. He had a dream of himself becoming a puppet and began shouting help before he became a puppet. The boy doesn't wake up in the morning. Then his little brother began crying in fear. Some users were reminded of the movie Pinocchio and the Emperor of the Night, where the boy turns into a puppet. However, you can find more messed up animations that are pretty nightmare fuel, just as much as nightmare fuel as other disturbing and distressing cartoons and animations. For example, Pinocchio and the Emperor of the Night, Faladay, Happy Tree Friends, Plague Dogs, Mr. Pickles, and much more. However, these sites does really include really disgusting and messed up clips. Then our next user was about to watch an episode too cute. However, it didn't play too cute. It played a video of a decapitated head literally talking. No, this wasn't edited or staged. This is what is actually real. You know the experiences of when scientists decapitate animals and they still live? That's pretty much what's that. He was basically staring at you, and his eyes began to move, and he was smiling. This made the user uncomfortable, and so he stopped watching. Our next user was going to watch a real episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog, and he had a couple of episodes of Wallace and Gromit. He had the real episodes, and one episode back in the barnyard. Our next user was lucky too, until he watched a different show. When he first watched some episodes of that 70s show, he was fine. His next show was the episode of the Golden Girls called Sophie's Choice. When he watched it, it was fine until a video popped up showing some fight in a nightclub, till a massive brawl broke up and almost everyone was involved in the fighting. A next user had a story. He was watching an episode of Happy Tree Friends. It was fine until video of a man getting his feet and head cut off what seems to be a member of the cartel. Like I said, unlike Happy Tree Friends, real videos are more sick and disgusting than media like Happy Tree Friends, Faladay's Martyrs, Visitor Q, and many more. Reality is something that is more messed up than fiction itself. Our next user was watching the movie Baby's Day Out. Somewhere around the 40-minute mark, he sees a random clip of some police officer staring at the camera, and then he walks away to his car. And the screen flashes to a code. The code was a location sent to the Veer, which was in a small town in Colorado. He drove there and saw this odd building which had some boxes. Some were in fact movies and shows, and others random DVDs. Movies and shows like Rocko's Modern Life, Hey Arnold, Snow White, Red River, Big Bang Theory, Frasier, and much more. There's other stuff in the box. He said that there were more DVDs and VHS tapes of hidden disturbing footage, especially the war times where the American and British Army were committing war crimes in Iraq, Russian gulags, North Korean footage, the Holocaust, and the Momo uprising. But there's other stuff too. You could find videos on actual slavery and animal abuse. Very disturbing content indeed. Another user said that he had ads like these back showing locations on a Chip Lake video back in 2018. He said that he found a location where he found a cult. He began to run away as fast as he can. All of this stuff interrupting the film was playing is pretty much lost media now. Plenty of users told their shares of the site. One user never got any disturbing videos interrupting while watching shows like South Park or Family Guy and never got any different videos playing, which proved people are pretty lucky at times. It's also said Fred Alec was a pretty shady and mysterious guy. The dude was really weird, like very weird. He would just ask how your day was doing and other random questions and stories if you ever contacted him. Not really much to be said for now, but there's a lot of stories told. Here are some more experiences of users sharing their strange stories on Flathead Films. However, I in fact have a story of there once, but I will not tell you right now. If you don't know, the website's font was pictures of clouds, and that's really about it. Our next user was about to watch the show Johnny Bravo. During some minute mark, there was another video interrupting. The user said the video was a clip of some driving dash cam footage. The car would speed up and hit a deer. Not really much gore, but you can hear it in pain. He felt bad for the poor animal. If you're wondering if there's any found media in the website, the answer is yes. Pop-up can include shock videos, especially with videos like the one split diving at face accident, cartel videos you may know online, and the one infamous Funky Town gore video. I highly recommend you not to search these since they are absolutely shocking and disgusting. You may want to be lucky. If you want to be lucky, you probably have to watch films such as Babe, Cats and Dogs, many horror movies such as Saw, The Orphan, Halloween, mockumentaries, and many, many more. Beware, you still get disturbing videos interrupting you. There's also cringeworthy videos as well. The next user was watching Tom and Jerry with his little cousin, thinking this is a normal website and that they in fact never get that episode, but instead they get a video of a young boy accidentally getting killed from a school lab accident. His face and skin began to melt off and the kid was crying like crazy. Honestly, thinking of that is absolutely fucked up. His little cousin began crying. The user was in shock as of what he was saying. The next user said that she went there for the first time when she was 8 years old. She went to watch shows like Goosebumps, Drake and Josh, but what she watched the most was My Little Pony. She was supposed to watch an episode of the show, but instead she get Pinkie Pie literally acting crazy like she was having a seizure and turns into a tall elephant human hybrid. This reminds you of that scene where that Pinkie Pie went batshit insane over some cupcake party. She was actually pretty brave when she saw this. Probably most likely she was 8 years old. You can even expect scenes of movies with actual disturbing real-life imagery. Especially movies like Milo and Otis, where real animals died during sets. Pretty hardcore stuff, and the scene like the Twilight Show movie where an actor gets decapitated from one of the scenes where a helicopter crashes. You will definitely find gore if you watch some disturbing movies and TV shows like Audition, Happiness, Black Mirror, and even that one Chinese show you may never heard of called Black Cat Detective. The show includes abuse, death, and horrible war crime-like activity. Then this user who went watching Pokemon, the animated series, however, didn't get the episode either. He got some short animated series that's extremely disturbing, if not worse than Saki Sanabashi, Go for a Punch. The anime began with our character Lucas. Lucas wakes up in some field and finds this giant hole. He went to see, and some dude pushed him and got burnt by fire. What makes this worse is that he could not die, which means he had to suffer there. Now, from my experience, I will tell you. So I was a fan of the TV show Malcolm in the Middle. I could not find any movie of it, and no Netflix wasn't really known back then. You had to use DVDs to watch movies and TV shows, so I could not afford a copy. So instead, I found this website, Fred Films. I see a ton of movies and TV shows where I found Malcolm in the Middle. I began watching an episode at midnight and for some reason began sleep. What I heard was this creaking noise when the episode plays. I woke up and I was confused. I saw some footage of a couple of dudes breaking into a house and killing some kid when he was sleeping. People believe this was a lost shock video called After School Special. However, it didn't have the Dig Your Roots poster, so no, it was not After School Special. Now, from now on, I will probably do something to ask questions or contact Fred Alec. If you are confused, Fred Alec was in fact released from prison earlier this year, so no big surprise seeing that. I will probably ask questions for Fred Alec, and if he will have reactions of people watching the movie and shows, but instead gets clickbaited and disturbing imagery. From now on, I will tell you this later on for another part. So this will be the last part of my story. From all the experiences on the website, I was going to contact friend Alec and share the stories of watching these shows and movies, especially with good luck and bad luck, depending on what you are watching, especially cartoon shows and animated movies, if even it's for adult audiences. So I couldn't find Fred's email, so I used a phone book online to find it. In fact, I found and went to his email. I told him this: Dear Fred, I get you are challenging people for this website for making disturbing videos. Did you do this for fun, or was it for... Also, why did you think it was a good idea to download and pirate movies out on the website? Fred then answered these questions. Well, I did it for money. I sure it was stupid, but I'm a very poor person that I didn't have a lot of money for my house. So I found the internet and searched for a movie and TV show to download, but I put pop-ups and other videos like that to shock sites to pretty much scare you. Send me the link to the anime series Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. Well, that was on his Google Documents. However, they were just thumbnails because they were a bunch of strange videos of dogs eating a roadkill rabbit. Not really anything too disturbing, but just really disgusting. Also cracks some unfunny joke where Toilet Bound Hanako-kun died from taking a 500-pound shit. That was pretty childish and stupid, but he did do something funny once. 4 days before the website shut down, he added an episode of Winnie the Pooh, and one viewer said when he watched it, he got a video of the current Chinese leader, Xi Jinping, doing his speech. That actually made me laugh. Fred Alec also earned $1,100 each week when there's viewers, which is downright illegal, and this is one of the reasons why he got arrested. Fred said his favorite movie was David Lynch's Inland Empire. He said his time in prison made him unhappy since many inmates made fun of him for looking like Gordon Ramsay. Fred's brother Blake went to the website. He knew Fred made the website and had no clue what it was. He was watching an episode of some random adult animated show. He got a gore video, which made him throw up. He got pissed off at Fred, saying he was a weirdo. He really wasn't surprised, but anyway, that's pretty much it for the story. I have told you all the stories for the users. I and Fred had pretty disturbing, but it was quite an experience. The fact that people had no clue that this website really wasn't anything special.